Thank you for showing up. It's early, but I hope you enjoy the talk. I think I have to go first back to the slide number 1, and then we're ready to roll. Here we go. I don't know how to switch it. Yes. Perfect. So, as Mike put it, my name is Christian Jennewein. I'm a head of engineering at BlaBlaCar, and let's go. I'm based in France, Paris, important to notice. And there's also Piotr, actually, our engineering manager for our team in Warsaw. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a case study, actually. So disclaimer, it's not like the solution. It's like we did, and with the fails, learnings, and successes. I have a video for you, an 18 animated GIFs, so I hope you like this. And I will briefly talk about the history, going from 2012 to today, how the team evolved. And yeah, as mentioned, look a little bit deeper into our fails, learns, and successes. First of all, BlaBlaCar. I mean, who heard of BlaBlaCar before? All right, that's quite a lot. Who used BlaBlaCar already? Hard to see, but still some of you, even a lot. And who's an ambassador of the service? Okay, it's going down. We have a few of them, so great. For those of you who do not know what BlaBlaCar is, so I'm glad that the majority does. It's a trusted community marketplace that connects drivers having empty seats with passengers looking for a ride. And I brought you a little video that nicely illustrates, I think, the activity we actually have. It's all the trips that happened during one day only last year, mid-2015. And it's zooming a little over, starting from eastern Russia. And you can see all the blue dots actually are rides that happen when they happen. And you will see the activity. The day is going stronger and stronger, and you can see we're very, very strong in Europe. We're also in Mexico and Brazil and India by then. Actually 22 countries in total. We have over 25 million members. And on our platform are 2 million trips at any time in the future available, having 10 million people traveling with us per quarter. So it stuck a little, but I hope it gave you a little idea about our service. But I think you came here for the case study, so let's start with the core of my presentation. The story of the BlaBla tech team, starting from 2012 to today. Here's the first of my animated GIFs. So it started all with one table, not such a big one. We've been 5 people, actually 5 engineers. Me as the first engineering manager, and it was pretty easy. Direct communication. We had 2 product managers at the time. We've been agile by nature. One of our mottos is the member is the boss, and we just moved forward. And organization wasn't such a big issue. I think you can imagine having one table solves a lot of problems. Our communication was and still is actually based on Jira's, and at that time we actually had specifications. The next year, 2013, things were filling up, probably not as much as in this GIF, but the team grew to 12 engineers at that time, and yeah, the thing is, we had to reorganize the organization. I think you can imagine 12 around one table, it's getting tricky. And we had to do something about this. And for me, there was no question we had to do Scrum, but the right way. We implemented this with the help of an external coach and actually applied a Scrum by the book. We divided those 12 engineers into 3 different teams. 3 colors at the time. We took the BlaBlaCar colors, red, blue, and green. Had a product manager each for the teams and a Scrum Master. 2 people actually doing Scrum Mastering. I, for myself, took care of 2 teams, and a project manager helped for the 3rd team. We did sprint planning, retrospectives, poker planning, demo stand-ups, just like in the book. And that's 2013. 2014, that was the year where we reached, but also plateaued at cruising altitude. The teams and the people understood how Scrum works. They understood the agile way of thinking. And they actually liked the transition we made. We ran a survey. 52% of the engineers said the change was great or is great, and 48% said it's a good thing. So nobody disliked it. And also management liked it very much, since the people everybody was way more into it and could have a much higher impact than compared to before. 2014 meant also we reached already 30 engineers. We had them dispatched in 6 different Scrum teams with, at that time, 3 Scrum Masters, not yet full-time Scrum Masters. And we also started in 2014 to have a remote team. This trial, let's say, started with a service provider in Bucharest. And they really helped us to test our capacity to work remotely and, above all, to switch to English. As I mentioned, we're based in Paris. French engineers, and you know French people, I think, and French culture. It's really French, and it's quite a step to change languages. And thanks to the guys in Bucharest, and it was a tough time, we managed to slowly transition to our whole communication to English. In 2014, also we hired a part-time Agile coach, focusing fully on our methodology and helping us to expand our methodology to Kanban, since Scrum didn't fit for every team. Let's move on. 2015, that was just last year actually, and the question was, the next reorganization is showing up. First of all, by mid-2015, actually a year ago, we hired the first Agile coach full-time, make it 1.5 people now, fully dedicated to applying, evolving, and taking care of our methodologies, like Agile, but in an applied way, Scrum and Kanban. We also launched, and that's where I mentioned Piotr. Actually, yesterday was his first anniversary at BlaBlaCar. So only a year ago, we launched our second tech hub in Warsaw. Remember the guys in Bucharest, it was more a test run, and they weren't BlaBlaCar people. But we decided actually over a year ago to go to Warsaw. And thanks to Piotr, we actually scaled this team quite a bit. In 2015, we went from 0 to 10 engineers by the end of the year. And today we're at 18 tech people already, so it's growing really fast. We also, and that's towards the end of the year, made a huge and important transition to tribes. And that really profoundly changed the way BlaBlaCar as a whole, so not anymore the tech team alone, tech product team alone, but the entire organization moved to a new way of functioning. And thus meaning moving away from task-driven teams, like our Scrum teams, to mission-driven teams that we call tribes. That's something where we inspired ourselves a lot from Spotify. And by the way, I thank you guys for openly communicating about your way of doing it. Really helped us to reach the next level. And so we basically split the entire BlaBlaCar organization, product people, tech people, business people, into 6 larger themes, all with a mission each. And since we're agile, that's not something we just decided from one day to the next, but we rather ran a test in September, October called the A-Team. And the idea was to build one single feature, 2-way ratings for those of you who know, and to ensure that these guys fully focus on this and only deliver this feature. It's been a success. In less than 8 weeks, we rolled the whole thing out, and preparing the move to true tribes. And also here we started first with one called the Growth Tribe in November, and it went well. It was on a voluntary basis. Who wants to join this new adventure? Who's eager? We found enough people, and in December we transitioned the entire organization to this tribe and squad-based model with the care, the satisfy, trust, monetize, and core tech in addition to the Growth Tribe, making it today 6 families, 6 themes that help us to push the BlaBlaCar service further. Each of these tribes actually defines their own goals on a quarterly basis that then get approved by a founder. And each of the tribes also has one or several squads. Squads being like somehow the equivalent to our Scrum teams we had previously, but today with way more diverse set of people, because there are like data guys as well inside, and I mean the business guys, people who haven't been on board before. And next to these very member-focused 6 tribes, we have all the rest of BlaBlaCar, which is put into something we call support teams. So people who rather support the existing tribes than working directly for our members. And an example, or a few examples here, are our quality assurance people, the group of Agile people, so 1.5 people at that time, our architects helping the engineers, finance, and so on. Which brings us to 2016, where things speed up. Every tribe, so we're now like half a year into this transition, every tribe establishes their roadmap based on their goals. And that actually means that the entire tribe sits down, so 10 to sometimes even 30 people, thinks about what could be the products, the features to add in order to reach our goal. And so the fundamental change here is that it's actually a bottom-up roadmap. Previously, we had the founders sitting together, spending a lot of time and energy about trying to prioritize a ton of projects which are very hard to compare, and then distribute it to the team. Now it's really the other way around. It's the team, the people, who will come up with their ideas, and the founders can then validate. And thanks to this nice division into these different tribes, it makes things way more agile and allows us to move way faster than before. Our Agile group counts today 4 people, 4 full-time people, and we still have the Agile coach helping us out, so it's an important group now, helping the different squads to stay efficient. And also during this year, we're now halfway through, we went from 60 people to today 75, as Mike said. By the end of the year, we'll have 100 engineers put in all these 6 different tribes, and eventually creating new squads as well within these tribes. And so much to the history, the quick look at how we evolved. And yeah, let's move on to some topics I picked out to share with you the fails, the learnings, and the successes that we encountered during these 4 years. And let's start with the fails, my favorite ones. I mentioned that in 2014 we opened up to Kanban, and one of the things we noticed that Scrum teams, they got a little wary. I think we stick way too long to the Scrum by the book, which is a good thing to start somewhere and to align the way how to work together. But there was the focus on tickets, on execution, was too big. And we lacked, I think we lacked the big picture to also help having ideas and pushing projects that come, as I mentioned, from the bottom and not from the top. Also, teams, engineers complained for good reasons about spending too much time in meetings, which is also a direct effect of applying Scrum in a too rigid way. And for those of you who know Scrum, it comes with a lot of metrics. And sometimes these metrics can be perceived as an overly controlled way of looking at what engineers are producing, and again, a negative thing. And also something I think that every engineering team is asking themselves, and there's no real good answer for this, how to handle the scope of sprints, pretty rigid, production issues that might arise, and an evolving roadmap. So that's like the balance to find, and there was clearly something we encountered where we failed at, actually. And I think with the new organization today, we'll see in 1 year if things improved. A second issue is the language barrier. I briefly mentioned this, and but yeah, we failed here definitely big time. The thing to start with the service provider, I think, was a good idea, to open up the team to a different language, to a different culture, to a different office, actually, changing a lot of things. But we actually couldn't choose the people, so they provided us good engineers, motivated engineers, but these engineers did not sign for this very BlaBlaCar mission. They wanted to help, they wanted to, and they did help, they worked hard, and they did a good job, but they stayed very separate due to our fail to not have integrated them into our existing teams. So they stayed basically over there, a group of 5 people. We put one Scrum Master from Paris into the group, staying in Paris, one product manager from Paris as well, staying in Paris, working with these guys, and let them more or less alone, which wasn't a very nice thing, I have to admit, and which obviously, I mean, now we know, failed. And that's something we did, we changed into a learning, and we did way better with our Warsaw team. I invite you to talk to Piotr about this, but the technique, or what we apply today, is having every guy, or starting at least with the guys in Warsaw, to put them in existing teams. So really creating bonds from the very beginning, and helping those remote guys to better integrate. And one thing that helped us a lot, Slack. I mean, today it's a standard. We introduced this in 2014, and it helped a lot our engineers to communicate, despite the fact being remote. And a fun fact is actually that as I mentioned, there's a lot of French going on, and obviously also on channels. And quickly, a safe word appeared when somebody, not French, didn't manage to follow the conversation. We put up a baguette icon, and it's today still a very often used word that the guys now in Warsaw adopted. And every time somebody's not understanding, it's baguette, and it's working actually even in real life. So there's a group of people speaking French, and the Polish guy or somebody from wherever joining in doesn't understand baguette, and everybody knows, okay, we have to move to English. Another fail, yeah, innovation days. Innovation, a crucial thing, and what we came up with in 1.5 years ago, trying to do something like Google does with their famous 20%, is what we called innovation days. And the idea was to give 1 day per month to every engineer to work on any project. And we requested, I mean, we sort of put a format around this. We asked them to before talk a little bit about what they have in mind, potentially trying to win over some people to work in groups on this, and also at the end to sum up and to show everyone what they did. And this clearly didn't work. I got some data on this. So in this 1.5 years, only 8 people used a total of 19 days, making it deceiving 5% of what could have taken. And yeah, that clearly didn't work. But we're agile, we're trying to be agile, we're adapting. We found a new formula, renamed it a little bit. It's called now Innovation Labs, and it's happening on Fridays, starting next week actually. And the idea is that every Friday afternoon, people can work on anything somehow related to their work, and do not have to report, because we found that's like one of the biggest limits, to report beforehand and also afterwards. Because innovation, I think that's not something you can force, and most of the time you will actually not innovate or find something new, but once every now and then there might be the idea, and we hope that with this open format we will address this a little better. Moving to the learnings. Distance. I mentioned this, but I can't emphasize this enough. That's definitely something we learned, and it took us way longer than I actually imagined. But I put it as a learning because I think today we can proudly say distance is not an issue, or not really an issue anymore for us. And one thing, for instance, we introduced right away with the guys from Warsaw, and even Piotr can talk about this because he spent a lot of time in Paris. So we generate actually the good old FaceTime, bringing people together. And every new joiner in Warsaw spends his first month roughly in Paris, working in HQ with a big group of engineers, and thus helping them to to get respected, to show that they're smart people as well and that they can do something despite the fact being far away. This is something that's getting better and better since today we have 18 people now, so the balance between Paris, which was at the beginning like Paris and Warsaw or even Bucharest, and now they're coming closer and closer, and I think in a year or two, probably closer in 2 years, there might be like 2 equal groups of engineers. But yeah, I can highly recommend generate FaceTime and encourage people to exchange. So I mentioned people from Warsaw coming to Paris, but it's also the other way around effect. Soon, also starting from next week, we will have the same formula for the new people in Paris, bringing them over to Warsaw and tell them, okay, it's part of your onboarding. You will spend time in our second office in Warsaw. And it costs money, but that's what you have to pay. That's what we found we have to pay, and it's definitely worth putting a focus on this. Not a detail. You definitely need a top-notch, high-definition video conference tool. We tried to work for quite a while on Hangout, but it just didn't work well enough. Today we use LiveSites, which is pretty costly, but it's doing a good job. Obviously, the right people, hiring is key. It's really crucial to keep the bar high and to ensure that the existing engineering group is respecting the new ones, and to not make any difference between hiring on in different locations as well. It's all about motivation. I can't say this enough. Motivation beats everything. And yeah, should I say that you hire motivated people? That's for sure. We also look for good communicators, ever more now, since you have different locations. It's really key that people are able to express themselves well, or above, very well even. And also never assume, always check. It's important for us that every problem is your problem. We want responsible people. And once hired, it's all about onboarding. I talked about this already a little, but it's also important to invest the time to bring people up to speed and to show them how you function, what technologies you have, and how the service is architectured. Chapters in Guild. It's not formally defined, but in our tribe-based organization, the idea is to horizontally link these business units, even though I do not like this word, to ensure that engineers who do not share the same table anymore still synchronize with their peers, like front-end or mobile engineers, to ensure that they're doing the same thing. What we do not have yet is a back-end engineer guild, but we're not imposing it, as I said, so we'll see if the need rises. And to finish with the successes, team culture. Team culture is key. We have 10 company values that we defined all together 3 years ago, like fail, learn, succeed, in trust, we trust, share more, learn more. That's why I'm here, for instance, as well. We have an internal hackathon. We brewed our own beer last year, and done is better than perfect. So I think hiring according to these principles, living these principles on a daily basis is key for the success of your team. And also Agile Coaches, I think it's a success. As I mentioned in the beginning, I did a lot of Agile Coaching actually, but managers doing Agile Coaching at the same time, it's a compromise. It was a good compromise at that time. Today we're big enough to afford and to have dedicated Scrum Masters, Agile Coaches as we call them. And today we have five people fully concentrating on this, and it's really worth doing this. We also have an interesting thing, a weekly anonymous happiness survey. So we just ask them, are you happy? Yes, no, maybe. They have the possibility to leave a comment as well, giving us great insights into the mood of the team and data to act upon. And just like Spotify does, we introduced a quarterly health check for every squad, going really into detail what's going well and basically not so well, so that we can keep on improving. And also a success, I talked about our second engineering hub in Warsaw, the geographic scaling. That's definitely, now a year after we launched this, a true success. I mentioned that we have 18 people over there today. In total, we are 75, so you can see the 20-25% of our engineers are already based today in Warsaw. Why did we do this? Talent as everywhere, is scarce. And if you stick to one single place, for us, Paris, it's just not going to work. And that's basically why we decided 1.5 years ago to open up a second place. And we're here in Poland. Very happy to have chosen this country. There's a very strong tech community. I mean, look at this event. It's mind-blowing. Very strong community. And we also identified that BlaBlaCar, who was already in the country as a service, which is also key, we had an office with a mindset, with the people living the BlaBlaCar values. We also noticed that there's lower competition for talent for product company. There are not so many product companies in Poland compared to London, or I don't even want to speak about the Silicon Valley, but also as in Paris. So helping us to attract talent and to build this engineering hub. And very important to know, people ask me this question all the time. Yeah, you went to Poland because these guys are cheaper. That's a myth. It's basically the same cost, and people do not take into account the additional cost that remote work brings with it. It's definitely not for cost reasons, and for us, it's actually more expensive to have 2 different offices. But as I mentioned, if you want to scale, that's the only way to go. And to finish my talk, to summarize how we function, and we hopefully keep on functioning at BlaBlaCar. We build stuff, we measure, we learn. Look at this guy, I love him. And we repeat. And we do this all the time. We build, we measure, we learn, we repeat. Thank you very much. I hope we still have some time for questions. It's about #Infoshare tech.
Yeah, exactly, Christian.
Thank you.
Tech and Infoshare. Actually, there is one. Do you somehow verify the ideas that you are doing during the innovation days, or just the engineers can work on anything they like?
I mean, verifying the idea, I mean, you mean like check them or challenge them before starting, I guess?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's not something we wanted to do, but by the mere fact to have asked people to express what they would like to work on, people auto-limited themselves or probably thought just a little too far. And that's something we are going to break, hopefully, with this new format where it's just whatever you want. We don't even want to know. And if it's interesting, share it with us. If not, do something else next time.
Super. Thank you very much. Give a round of applause for Christian.
Thank you.